So I am going to talk about relationship with self, and when I was introspecting on what it is and how I can explain what it is, I felt that uh, maybe we can start with what is the self that I'm talking about, and then maybe go into okay, what is the concept of the relationship. So for me, I feel the self is the one who observes, right? One aspect of the self is the one who observes. So the one who can observe the thoughts, who can observe the body, who can observe any emotion which arises, that is the self. And when we talk about relationship with the self, I feel I would say that the I like to call them the selves, but these are the mental emotional patterns that have formed inside of us. So I have frequently spoken about the selves, and many a times, if I say that there is a good relationship a person has with himself, it would mean that there is a degree of peace, calm, or happiness as a feeling. So that person is mostly feeling good about themselves, mostly being joyful, feeling positive about life, feeling appreciating themselves. Or if we look at the mind, so that person would have majorly positive thoughts. So 80 to 90% thoughts would be positive thoughts. So I think then it would be a easiest way to look at how good our relationship with ourselves is by analyzing or looking at what are the kind of thoughts that we have during the day. So I feel that is an exercise which you can do later also. You can even now take a moment to reflect that what are the kind of thoughts that pass through your head, and what percentage of that would be negative thoughts. So negative thoughts would be one which are based on fear. I don't wish this to happen, or maybe this will happen. Fearful thoughts are negative thoughts, or one would say self criticism, self judgment. I didn't do this right, or I should have done this way. Those are negative thoughts, right? Or thoughts of regret. I wish that hadn't happened 5 years back, 10 years back. Sadness, that oh, I'm feeling so low because this has happened. Okay, so we can have one off day. So maybe one day cannot be a measure of how good or bad a relationship with ourselves is. I feel that if we really would like to observe and find out, we have to take a observation of ourselves over a period of time. Only then we can find out. It could vary with different people. So if there is nothing much happening outside, it could be a week is a good time to analyze and see that how positive we are feeling inside us. I can definitely say by my experience of working with people that many a times people don't realize that the kind of mood fluctuations that they are having, and they might feel that everything is okay, but when they look deeply, when they start observing themselves, they realize that oh, they're having so many negative thoughts, or the emotions were uh, varying, feeling extreme joy at one time, but maybe the rest of the day was filled with negative thoughts or a feeling of sadness. So I really feel that a reflection is a good thing to do, to find out that where we are standing today. It could be like, I really like to use the scale 0 to 10. 0 is very sad, or whichever emotion that you're looking at, and 10 is happy. So one can reflect and observe oneself and find out that where we have positioned ourselves. A person might be feeling at the level of 7, that they're feeling very joyful, or they're feeling reasonably happy, or at 2 or 3 where they're feeling sad. Okay, so what we went into is that the process of reflection and observation of our thoughts and of our feelings is very essential to know that where we are stationed. Do we have a it's like we have a home within us. Is it a happy home? Is it a comfortable home? Many of us, we don't even feel comfortable within ourselves because of maybe the feelings of guilt that are there, maybe the feelings of fear that are there. So we are feeling very uncomfortable inside of us. So then what would we say? That the relationship with ourself is not good. It is not just about what is happening outside, that we are feeling happy or not. It is also about what has become like the norm inside of us. So many people, they could just become so used to feeling guilty, maybe, or fearful, maybe, or sad, maybe, and that becomes like the norm for them. Okay, so then we would say that one would have to work in improving relationship with the self. We would say that the existing relationship is not good. Okay, so there are this is one category of people, like when I'm describing the emotions like guilt or blame. So in the personality trait, we defined it as neurotic people, right? So neurotic people would be the ones who would usually be looking for answers, because they're feeling very they're looking like something is missing, or they're feeling uncomfortable inside of us. There is one polarity of dysfunction, but there is another polarity of dysfunction. Okay, these people, they exist in the states of anger, okay, or they exist in the state of criticism or blame, which is directed at other people. So you would find these people, they would be mostly judging other people, criticizing other people, blaming other people. That is also a emotional dysfunction, right? But doing all of this, they don't feel bad within themselves, they rather feel superior within themselves. It's a ego state that they come into, they feel larger than life. Okay, so that is like the narcissistic personality disorder. So these people would not be the ones seeking answers, they would always be the ones who would say, we have all the answers. There would be no doubt in their minds, right? So I am saying that this is also a dysfunction, to go into guilt or fear or sadness, but this is also a dysfunction, extreme dysfunction, in fact, such a dysfunction which cannot be even noticed by people themselves. That when they are going so much into anger and criticism and blame, which is directed outwards, right? So in both of these polarities, I would say the relationship with the self is not good. But in the polarity of the neurosis, it is also uncomfortable for the person. So the person is actually at an advantage that they would look for some solutions, right? So like in the meditation part that we would be going into, so I would talk about, or we would experimentally go into an exercise of observation, which I feel is, I would say, the most important technique that we can practice every day, the as much time as possible, so that it even becomes a habit for us. And as we develop that practice, so the hold of the negative emotions and the thoughts on us is going to lessen. So, one, that this practice is very important, right? Second thing that is important is that, so when you do the exercise of observation and you observe the negative thoughts, The second thing that you have to do is to take the power of the belief that you have given to these thoughts, that these thoughts are right. So there is something in you which believes in that fearful thought. Ki, oh, maybe it's my child. Oh, I don't want this to happen to my child, and this might happen. Right? And there's something believing in it. And then we feel disturbed. So we have to take the power of that belief that we have given to ourselves and take it away from that thought. And that has to be like a action at a mental level. That when that thought happens, I can tell myself that I choose not to believe in this. So these are like the two simple exercises, and which I feel can be very, very helpful. They have been in my experience, they show very good results. The only thing that is needed is a consistency in using them. They don't give result in 1 or 2 days. It's just that we keep practicing it. Thank you, friends, for joining in.